Hey, everybody. Andrew Zimmern here, Molly Mogren there. Well, technically, Triple M Cat.
I know. I
I
don't even
can't.
know what my name is. I don't know. I mean, I know, but
Well, your married name is Cat.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
but nobody calls you Molly Cat.
sometimes people do. And do you know that a Molly cat is the female version of a tomcat? It is. Isn't that cool?
That is cool because it speaks to your femininity and grace.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to Go Fork Yourself, the Substack edition. We are back, week 3. I am still in my hotel room in Chicago, and you are still in my office.
I know. I know. We didn't have a chance to just pretend that we were not doing all of these at once.
Why bother?
Sorry.
We have too much respect for our audience.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's let the other people lie to their viewership.
Yes.
We are truth tellers. What did you want to talk about today?
Okay. What I wanted to talk about today was something that's trending on TikTok. TikTok is an app that
Every time you say TikTok, I want to do this.
Why?
Because I love TikTok.
Okay. Grinders are trending on TikTok.
Grinder? You mean the app?
No, not
dating
that's
app?
a different grind. That's grinder without the E. That's grinder.
Oh, I get you. Are you talking about the sandwich?
I sure am.
Okay.
Okay, so my question is,
Both could potentially involve eating.
yeah, and both could be trending on TikTok. Oh God. All right. What is a grinder though?
You've missed me, haven't you?
Definitely.
Okay. Continue. I'll let you continue. I won't interrupt you.
Well, what is a grinder? What is it? Do you know? I mean, is it the same? Is it like a sub and a hoagie and what's the other one?
Yes.
They're all the
Yes.
same? Because to me, a
Yes.
grinder seems more Italian.
Well, you have to understand that all of those sandwiches have their roots in the Italian American experience in America,
Okay.
where look, let's go back 100 years, okay, to France or Italy.
All right.
Just for example, you could pick a lot of other European. It could be Spain, could be Germany. Let's talk France and Italy.
All right.
A sandwich for lunch in France was most typically jambon beurre, right? A piece of baguette with ham and butter. That was it. You might have cheese on a sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, over time, some people had ham and cheese, but it didn't start that way because they wouldn't mix those two things.
Yeah. All right.
In Italy, if you were going to have a sandwich, it would be a piece of either focaccia or another type of Italian bread, on which would be a few slices of something in the salumi cured meat family,
yes,
depending on where in Italy you were. So in one, it could be mortadella, it could be a hot salami down in Calabria, it could be prosciutto in Parma, right? But it wouldn't be loaded with all kinds of other stuff, right?
Yeah.
So the time passes, and the immigrant experience in America waxes and wanes and then stabilizes, and here we are in 2022.
Yes.
And what has happened is, especially on the East Coast, what began, that's why they're different names. They all have different regional names.
Right.
So,
this is what I'm wondering, that it's more of a regional thing.
Yes. So they might call it a hoagie in the Mid-Atlantic states, a grinder in Rhode Island. We just called it a sandwich in New York. You would call it a hero. When I was young,
yeah, that's the other
growing up, my father would take me to a hybridized Greek Italian market called Trinacrius.
Ooh,
and we would go once or twice a week. And it was a specialty goods store that had a deli case. And if they weren't too busy, because they also sold bread, they would make you sandwiches. And I'm talking about the late 1960s into the 70s. And it was the greatest sandwiches ever made. I mean, they were slicing 3 or 4 Italian types of cold cuts.
Yep.
You know, putting some fresh mozzarella cheese, a lot of olive oil, vinegar, oregano, slices of tomato. If you asked for lettuce, they would scowl at you, but they would put it on. If
I
you
love
ask
a
for,
place like that. I love a place where basically the customer is not always right. Where
absolutely,
sometimes you're wrong.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And then eventually they started offering their house giardiniera on it, and they created a menu, a sandwich board, and it became a very famous place by the 70s, and then it was closed. The real estate became too valuable, and other, the Dean and DeLucas of the world opened up, and these little Italian and other European specialty food shops started to disappear. And there's very few of them left. But yes, it is we're talking about all the same sandwich, and I'm kind of obsessed with them. And I truly, truly, truly hope that in some of the food hall business that I'm doing and elsewhere, I get a chance to do a sandwich shop that's proper on a seated Italian loaf with all of the classic Italian cold cuts, and whether it's lettuce, tomato, mozzarella, oil and vinegar, hot Calabrian pepper spread, or cherry peppers, spicy cherry peppers sliced on there, or giardiniera. People get their choice and they're out the door, because there's nothing, to my mind, better than that. And I'm obsessed with high-end Italian cold cuts. So, and also I shouldn't leave this stone unturned. Jambon de Paris, which is a Parisian ham, very similar to what's called a Madrange ham, very low in salt, very pink, with the skin removed, but a layer of exterior fat, sliced thin, is about as delicious a ham experience in the cooked ham category as exists. And I'm in love with them, and not enough people serve that either. So,
well, you know that my favorite sandwiches are fried bologna sandwiches.
Yeah, one of mine too.
So good. And then
do you blacken it? Do you ever blacken it on a grill?
Well, here's the deal. I've never made it myself. I just get it whenever it's on a menu. I'm just
hold on.
Buy the stuff.
Arguably, the easiest, cheapest, most convenient sandwich on earth is one that you won't make for yourself.
Yeah.
Are you doing some kind of monastic thing that I'm not aware of, where you're denying yourself pleasure?
Well, kind of. Part of it, is that I'm mostly gluten-free these days.
Yep.
So I'm sort of like, if I'm going to have something like that, I'm just going to order it I just can't have it in my house. I just need that has to happen elsewhere, because I can only have it once every so often.
Should I make that for you when I get back from this road trip?
Maybe.
We should make them for the whole office. I mean, it's so easy. We get some of those, Hawaiian bread rolls.
Oh yeah.
Love that, because it's got to be on a bread that's slightly sweet.
Oh yeah, so you got to do this.
Yep, and when the mustard, because that way when the mustard comes on, it's right. So that one. I've become a bigger fan. I used to fry my bologna.
Yeah.
And then I started griddling it. And now I almost exclusively char it on an open grill.
Okay.
And the reason is, well, like a marshmallow, you can pan fry it to a golden brown. But if bologna gets scorched and crusty, good bologna.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
I like it.
Did you ever, I mean, I buy it all the time. I shouldn't eat it because it's very unhealthy, but have you ever done the Taylor ham sandwich pork roll from New Jersey?
No.
I'm going to have to turn you on to that one too.
Right.
That'll blow your mind. And I sometimes have it on a sandwich, but I mostly have it with breakfast, like with eggs or something like that. But I slice that per thin, scorch it in a pan, and it is to die for.
See, I'm more of a bacon at breakfast person versus ham, but I mean,
Well, this is
I'll
this is
try it.
called Taylor ham. This is called Taylor ham, but it's salty and delicious. Yeah, I want you to try. Don't prejudge it.
I'm not gonna prejudge. I'm excited for this. So now we just gotta figure out when that's gonna happen.
Okay.
What,
I like that. I
have a-
was gonna.
What?
No,
Sorry.
What were you thinking?
I had one last question for you.
Sure, fire away.
Why do you think sandwiches taste better when you cut them diagonally?
They don't.
Are you like a rectangle?
No, I'm like, why the fuck are you cutting my sandwich in half? So when I order a piece of salmon in a restaurant, do I want them to cut it in half? Do I want my steak cut in half? Do I want my chicken breast cut in half? Am I 4? No. Now, when my kid was 4,
Mhm.
I would cut it in half because him holding it and it would go all over the place and end up on his face and in his hair. And once you're past a certain age, you do not get your sandwich cut in half. It should hold together and you should eat it like
a
properly.
sandwich. You should eat it like a sandwich. That's it. That's an interesting hot take I wasn't expecting. I've always liked cutting it on the diagonal because that's what my grandma used to do, and she called it party style.
Well, first of all, your grandmother, who I had a chance to meet before she passed,
Mhm.
was an incredible woman.
Yes.
Had how many children? 11?
12.
12. So I
Boys,
think
12 boys,
no girls.
no girls.
I think the reason your grandmother did that was so that you could dip the corners more easily into a little bowl of tomato soup.
That's true.
All right.
I don't know.
I was going to tell you to go fork yourself,
Oh.
but now I'm just thinking rosy, happy thoughts about, your grandma, who was she was one of the greats.
She really was.
She was one of the greats. I'm glad I got to meet her. I'm glad you got to meet my dad, also one of the greats.
And your mom.
Yes. Oh, 100%. I mean,
We've known each other a long time.
Yeah. My mom is one of the greats too, but, and nothing against her.
Yes.
She was an amazing human who had a very, very tough life and did incredible things and gave me pieces of myself that I love. But my father was one of those broke the mold kind of fellas.
Yeah, and he was a Badger, so I especially love him.
He was a Wisconsin. He was a Wisconsin Badger. You guys were schoolmates.
Yeah, we were. We graduated together.
All right. Well, I'm going to tell you anyway, go fork yourself.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Look at that. We knocked out 3 of them and you still have time to get to wherever you're going.
That's true. I know. I'm very impressed.